any prospect for a short-term production increase in Angola?
Yes, Angola is following closely all these movements that is happening. Angola is part of OPEC. We believe on a gradual increase of production. Angola has a strategy, a hydrocarbon strategy that intends to motivate the oil companies to do more investments, to take all the advantage of marginal oil fields, to make sure that we are producing as much as possible. We are not able yet to reach the quota that we have, so we are below that quota. So even when the OPEC decide to increase the productions, we will remain below that. So we are doing our best to motivate the oil companies to invest, to increase the production, and we take the advantage of this movement. Despite that, we still committed with the non-oil sector just to make sure that we have our economy resilient enough to possible shocks, because we know that the oil sector is quite volatile, and we can see movement on the oil price that can be against us.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that resiliency. You know, your fate has followed a very predictable script, unfortunately, as a petrostate, with all the corruption and equality that brings. You know, your president has says that, look, your economy has to diversify, that it's a matter of life and death. But what can you say in concrete terms? Because we have been hearing that for years.
We can start this talk about agribusiness, because now we can rely totally on the water consumption, water table consumption with local production. We can rely on eggs production, fruits, vegetables. So we are seeing a lot of local production on the agribusiness sector. We still need to work on the industry side, a small industry, big industry. So we are working on the business environment to attract foreign direct investment to those areas, also to tourism. But regarding agribusiness, we are seeing a lot happening, and the non-oil sector performing well regarding GDP and also regarding the fiscal revenues. So yes, it's not only words, that's facts, and we will keep pursuing the results of that narrative.
Yeah, because the Angolan people certainly have not benefited at all, really, in the last 40 years from what was supposed to be an oil boom there. And now we may be on the cusp of a mineral boom in Angola. And I want to get to this point. You know, nearly 1 in 4 Angolan children are engaged in some kind of forced labor, something your government had pledged to do something about. And I appreciate that an action plan, was just passed. But given those new industries, what again can you do concretely to make sure that some of that child labor for sure is attended to? Because so many families send their children as well to do child labor because they are desperate because of the situation with inequality.
So we are acting in two fronts. The one front is regarding a cash assistance. With a program with the World Bank, we name it Quenda, where we deliver money to the families that are struggling with the poverty. We deliver money in a combined effort with the World Bank. We are moving not so quick as we want, because we need to identify those families, to include financially them, to make sure that they start having ability to manage the money through a mobile phone, through a banking account. So we are progressing on that front of giving assistance. But we are also creating space for the companies to start operating, to create employee. We have also a program within the municipalities to build schools and to make sure that those kids are able to get access to education, and with that being able to have access to a more formal way of work. So we are working on those two fronts, assisting them, but also investing on education infrastructure and attracting private investment, local and foreign, to create jobs, and at medium long term, those kids to be financial and economic included.
Right. Okay. Minister Sousa, I have to leave it there, but I thank you for joining us.